Hey there, my fat ugly face again. How you doing? Hey. Seems people have a very short attention span. Some of the flack that I get all the time is that when I test a new lens, and somebody that's new, or possibly maybe not new, will say, "Gee, where's all the pretty pictures for that lens at? That's the only way I could judge the lens." And of course, any new lens always has an enormous amount of pictures on Flickr and various other sites. However, you could take one of the best photographers in the world, take pictures of beautiful women or gorgeous scenery, and then of course literally edit the bejesus out of it in Photoshop, and it'll look good even if it's a really horrible lens. So since people have an incredibly short attention span for facts, here's some facts. I was the first person, these are only two examples out of countless examples. First person to review that 35mm f1.4 Tamron lens that came out a couple of years ago. And I said, this is literally, because I have dozens and dozens of 35mm lenses, one of the best 35mm lenses ever made. It's absolutely stunning. And then someone said, oh, they're talking about you over on DPR. I was like, oh yeah, I'll take a look. So, well, I don't care what that fat tattooed guy says. I'm going to wait for a real review of this lens. So, a couple, maybe like a month and a half later, after I posted the review of that lens, the review on their own website came out. Wow, that's one of the best lenses ever. Really? And here recently, everybody thinks I'm like shilling for Fujifilm because I absolutely love the hell out of Fujifilm. But I reviewed that 50mm f1 lens. Yeah, I said it was really good for low light situations, but for anything where there's halfway decent ambient light, and worst if there's really a lot of light, even if you stop down, even if you dial in exposure compensation, I said the lens is bad. It's not bad, it's like really, really bad. Oh, you gotta be lying. Oh, golly gee whiz. That can't be true. Well, that's an expensive lens. It's really fast. Yeah. And like moonshine has a really high alcohol content too. Not that I drink. But you don't see people clamoring to buy. I think it's illegal. Some states it might not be illegal. You don't see people clamoring to drink that stuff, do you? Because it's like liquid fire, right? Right? So, turns out, after I posted that review, getting to the darn point, posted that review on the 50mm f1 Fuji lens. I said that lens it's just, for really low light, it's pretty good. But generally speaking, it's a horrible lens. So, the website, one of the main websites, there's a few people say, well, I don't trust that guy. He says that lens is horrible. I pre-ordered that lens and I know it's got to be good because I've seen the image samples from, I'm not going to say the person's name. They're an official Fujifilm shooter. They take very beautiful pictures, edit the hell out of them in Photoshop. Yeah? You can take a horrible lens as long as you take pretty pictures and edit it really good. Slide that saturation slider. You can make it look good. So, when the actual review, I think it was like posted 2 weeks ago, and I reviewed this lens and posted the video 2.5 months ago or something like that. But here, a week and a half ago, something like that, that largest photography website forum, they made a video, and it says, the worst lens of 2020. The same lens I told you all was... oh, this guy's a Fuji shill. He says this lens is no good. Well, he has to be lying. And then more people said, well, I'm going to wait till real reviews come out of this lens because that guy doesn't post pretty pictures. Do you really think, let me ask you a serious question here, a little bit of the humorous side. Do you really think, just think about this for a second. Whatever you think of me, it doesn't matter. Do you really think, A, that I don't take lens reviews really seriously? Or that B is someone that's owned countless thousands of lenses and still owns hundreds of lenses? And you think that's bragging. It's not. The point being is when I say that, it means I actually have a broad basis of comparison. What's like someone says, it's a great lens. It's like, well, that's good to know. Well, how do you know? How many lenses have you ever... Oh, I've ever owned 10 lenses. I own 5 currently, but I'm telling you, this is a good lens right here. So, well, how do you know? Compared to what? compared to those horrible 5 lenses I see that you got, what's your basis of comparison? What's your, what's the thread running through this that you're trying to compare it to? Those 5 horrible lenses that you own that you say it's so great. So it's a halfway decent lens, but it's awesome compared to the junk that you own. So I take lens reviews really seriously, but every time I say a lens is horrible, like a new lens, every time you can't point out an instance that that's not the case. I say it's horrible, it turns out to be, it's exactly what I said. It turns out to be great, just like unbelievably great. Same thing happens. And point number 2. If you are, and think about this for a second because this is undeniable. If you are taken by highly edited photos of beautiful, so like pretty person, like something really idyllic. Oh man, it's a beautiful picture. Not only is it an amazing composition or a great composition, but it's been edited to Hades and back. Do you really think that tells you something about a lens? It doesn't tell you anything. I keep hearing all the time. However, my track record is higher than anybody else on YouTube for lens reviews. And that's not my opinion, that's a fact. Do you think that that is a baseline of comparison? I mean, it's not. See, I'm not angry. Also, too, I find it funny when like, so you're angry in this video. I'm not, actually. I'm just stating the facts. You post pretty pictures for some of the worst lenses on Earth. Some of the most famous images on Earth are fuzzy. They're out of focus. They're blurry, but the composition is incredible. It's like, wow. Some of them are iconic images that are worth hundreds of thousands. A print of it might be worth $250,000. Fuzzy, grainy, no darn good. All things being equal, of course, the composition and the nature of the shots and the lighting and whatnot is totally your responsibility. My responsibility is to give an accurate, logical, intelligent conclusion or summation of the lens based upon what it is itself and based upon what it is in the spectrum of other lenses. That's what I do, and I do a better job of it. And people say, well, that guy's got low-budget videos. All he does is flap his lips. Now, these videos are obviously low budget. They're not edited, but I'm at least telling the truth, and I'm not selling anything, and I don't have any affiliate links. I'm not affiliated with any of these companies. If I say something is awesome, it is awesome. If I say something is just, it's no damn good, Like that 51 F1. Oh, that can't be true. It's expensive and it's fast. It's got to be a good lens. Compared to what? Now, while it is a manual focus lens, for example, if you want something in the 50mm range, you get a 58mm f1.4 Voigtlander. You get one used for like $350. I know it's an f1.4 instead of an f1, but do you really need an f1? The bokeh is way better. The image fidelity is way better. That is manual focus, obviously, Sal. Get yourself a $20 adapter and learn how to manual focus that lens. But I find it funny and ironic, and I try to be the first, to hit on a lens review, unless someone is affiliated with the company and they've had it months before I have. And what they always do, and this is also, too, undeniable, is they'll post up I won't mention the person's name. I'm sure he's a nice dude. He'll be the first person to get a Fujifilm lens. He'll post up a bunch of beautiful images that have had the hell edited out of them. Saturation slider, sharpness slider. Wow! Well, that looks a good-looking lens. I'm going to buy that based upon those pictures. That's as dumb. And this is true. Think about it for a second. That's as dumb as, you see those big billboards and those advertisements and the TV commercials where McDonald's has got the worst food in the world. But when they show you a picture of a Big Mac, I don't ever eat at McDonald's unless it's breakfast and hash browns. I love their hash browns. They show you a picture of a Big Mac on TV or on those big billboards, wow, that looks succulent. You just tell it's just hot off the griddle and the meat is plump and the bun is crispy and there's nice ice cold lettuce, perfectly sliced tomato. That's not reality. The images from these people, they get the lens 2 or 3 months before everybody else. There's no reality there. Well, that looks great. I'm going to buy that lens. Tell me, do you think that image hasn't had the heck edited out of it? You are not, when you buy a lens, you are not buying somebody else's Photoshop skills. Now, whether you hate me, you like me, or indifferent one way or the other, the real question is, and this is the only real question in this video, is that fat bald guy telling the truth? Oh, he's not selling anything, no affiliate links. He does have a lot of lenses, and every time he's really recommend, like, wow, that lens is incredible. He's been right. I ask you, is that what's important? Some people make content just as a delivery mechanism to feed you an affiliate. This lens is great, you know. Click on my link below so you could buy one yourself, and then they get a kickback from it. You know, I'm not here to argue kickbacks and affiliate links. But shouldn't that raise an eyebrow to you? The fact that the image is edited to heck and back. The fact that there's an affiliate link associated. Well, I love this lens. I'm the only person, I can proudly say this. Proudly. I really, really mean this with all my heart. Really. I'm the only YouTube lens reviewer that loves to and does to get a hold of a horrible lens. Like, this lens is horrible. I love to, not this lens specifically. I love to, and I also love to praise a really awesome lens like this, well, it's not the 16mm f1.4. I thought it was there for a second. I forgot I changed that lens out another day, a week or so ago. I love doing that. I'm the only one that does it. Everybody else does the same thing. Well, this lens is good and it's bad, and you know, it's mostly good, and I think you should buy it. And I got a link below that you can click on to buy it. Who does that help? Them or you? Well, I don't like that guy. He's not very nice. He's bald and tattooed and fat, and you know, he doesn't blow smoke up my skirt. You know, I want someone that's gonna lie to me. Everything I said in this video was accurate. Even if you hate me, everything I said in this video was accurate. Yeah. And for some of us, that is actually what's important. What that some of us percentage is, I don't know. But I'm happy to be part of that. Thank you. Wait for it. Fujifilm. Except for the 50mm f1. Also, too, the 18mm f2 is really horrible. It's easily their worst lens. What's another horrible lens? Horrible? No, there's not another horrible lens. Those two are pretty bad, though. But that's okay. Every lens company makes a few really bad ones. Those are the two bad ones from Fujifilm. The F50 f1's not that bad in low light situations, as I said in the review. Anyway, I find it incredibly funny that I was the first person, other than the people that, you know, work for that company, that got it months ahead of time, posted a YouTube video, this lens is no good. Well, I don't trust that guy. And then the review that they say they trust comes out and says the exact same thing I did. I'm sorry if I find that funny and you don't. I do find it really funny, though. Happy holidays! Aren't you glad when 2020's over with? I know I am. Oh, dear God.